This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
To the southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
It's the start of round 9 of NBL23, and boy, what a week it's been for these two clubs.
New Zealand are a genuine title contender.
The Kiwi lads taking on the might of Queensland and doing so with authority, knocking off the Taipans and Cairns and then putting the bullets through the ringer at Spark.
The southeast Melbourne Phoenix take their season record to 7-5.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix handing the struggling Hawks their 9th loss in a row.
Phoenix big winners today, 112 to 78.
2 mammoth victories, but the real victory will be who can carry that momentum in tonight's battle in Christchurch.
Kia ora, good evening. Welcome along to Otautahi Christchurch Arena to be exact. And the Breakers in their first of 2 games in the Garden City and sitting on top of the NBL ladder after some impressive victories. There's a long way to go, but this team has come so far to be sitting on top of the ladder. Barry Brown Jr. and the Breakers in town to take on the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And as you heard in pre-game, Casey Frank, these two teams, they have a little bit of history together. They've both won on their home floors.
They're well experienced with one another at this point, and this will be the final matchup of the season, the dead rubber match. And I just have a feeling whoever wins this game is going to be really appreciative of it down the stretch. Only the top 6 are making the finals, so this one has a lot of meaning there.
And we'll go to Brooke Rusko right now. Brooke, as a former player yourself, recently retired, are you loving what we can expect from this game?
I'll take that, Mels. I'll absolutely take that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I can't wait for this one. The implications, like Case just said as well, are going to be huge. We know it's going to be tight. The race down the end is going to be huge. You want to finish first. You want to finish second. And to get games like this is going to be huge. Now, the crowd is slowly building in this arena as well. I think if Phoenix can silence the crowd nice and early, it's going to go a long way. But I think we've got a good one. I think they're going to fill it up. And defense is going to be where this one is won and lost.
And Brooke, what matchup are you looking forward to the most? Because these two starting fives match up really well across the board.
Well, across the board, there's marquee matchups, isn't there? But the one we talked about at the very start, Jarrell Brantley coming on the back of Foot Locker Player of the Match, has 29 points in his last game, and we know what Mitch Creek has done all season long. So defensively, they've both got their dog, they've both got their fight, they're both going to win that matchup. And so whoever wins that matchup, I think is going to go a long way to win this game, but I cannot wait to see them go toe-to-toe.
Barry Brown Jr. as well off the bench is going to be influential in this game. There is no doubt. And it's such an oddity to have an import lead your team in scoring and be 4th in the league in scoring, Casey, and come off the bench and do it.
Well, it's just another testament to the selflessness of this import trio the Breakers have. They are consistently putting winning above their statistical importance. And Barry Brown Jr., he's been doing it on the drive all season long, one of the heaviest players in the league in isolation. But as the season has gone, that tray ball has been dropping. And if he's hitting from deep, he becomes a near unguardable player on the trips down the court.
No doubt him and Gary Brown of the Phoenix will match up throughout this game. And Gary Brown dishing it out at an impressive 8.5 assists a game to lead the league.
And another player who is as important to his team offensively, but in a very different way. He is the table setter. Perfectly finding those guys on the wing, in transition. The Phoenix, one of the better spot-up shooting teams, and it's because of Gary Brown's ability to put that ball on the dime, just serve it up on a platter for the shooters, finding his bigs on the roll, and when he wants to, he can put you on skates as well and fill it up himself.
And Gary Brown is going to be a real marquee matchup. He's a proven vet from around the leagues of Europe, and you look at the stats there, and those 8.5 assists a game, really he is the engine that drives this Phoenix team around the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to have those assists to his teammates, but the pressure that Barry Brown Jr. is going to put on him on the defensive end, I think conversely is going to take a lot of energy out of both these players. It will be really interesting to see who's got some left in the tank come the 4th quarter.
A real nice 3-guard rotation as well for the Breakers, though. Gary Brown will see a lot of different looks at both ends of the floor. Let's go to the starting 5. The Breakers are rolling with that same starting 5, and since they've injected Tom Abercrombie into the starting 5, they are 4-0. Leafa and McDowell White in the backcourt, Jarrell Brantley and Derek Pardon up front. And for the Phoenix, they are 6-1 with this starting five, and it is a stacked starting five as well. You've got the outside shooting of Ryan Broekhoff, and you've got Mitch Creek, Alan Williams, the muscle, and Trey Cowell. You can look over the top of the defense with Gary Brown. So that is a long, dangerous offensive team. These are the two best offensive teams in the league going through the rating, and it is going to be who can stop who. The Breakers have a stunning defensive rating at the moment. They are really, really restrictive in the way that they are throttling teams from scoring.
Yeah, a defensive rating of 101.2 for the Breakers, and an overall rating, a net rating of plus 14. Just impressive basketball being played on both ends.
Well, when the Phoenix put 99 on them, they've conceded an average of just 73.3 at 39% opposition. That is stunning from the Breakers.
When it's going on that end, it is really going.
And we are going. Gary Brown with the ball, Mitch Creek and Jarrell Brantley. There's that matchup.
Foul trouble going to be key for both those players early. Got to tend that physicality and temper it just a bit early.
Alan Williams going to work at Derek Pardon. Another strong matchup. And Alan Williams, you don't see Derek Pardon get bossed around like that.
No, this is one of the few players in the league that matches his strength and really displaced Derek Pardon on that finish right through his jaw to get the layup.
McDowell White with the Pardon screen. Brown trying to fight through it. McDowell White, good signs for him shooting that.
If McDowell White's able to hit that three consistently, if teams continue to go under, he'll become just such an offensive weapon and be able to hit that 16-8-8 Modi Moore kept talking about in the preseason.
Trey Cowell going over the top to Alan Williams, and Alan Williams again off the glass. Nice little floater.
Almost a replay of the last two times these teams met. They really went to Williams early, tried to get him going, and 2 for 2 in this one, looking like it's following the same script.
Pardon with the catch.
It's a cheap foul on Alan Williams there from behind. Michael Aylen calling him with the push. Game 801 from Michael Aylen.
Congratulations to Michael Aylen.
Well, nice of Australia to send over an 801. Normally just sending over the 501s. There we see the push in the back there. Derek Pardon happy to take that foul. Not much in it, but the Breakers will continue to play on.
McDowell White. Leafa looking like he's going to step into the three. Steps to the left with the escape dribble. Misses that.
And you can see how much the Phoenix respect that shot. Gary Brown was all over the fake, but couldn't clear enough space to get the finish.
And then Derek Pardon's pinged for the foul on the post up by Alan Williams.
And of note for the Breakers offensively, they've tried a couple of times to get the ball into Brantley, sagging way off that ball initiator and taking that away. Really aware of Brantley's prowess in the post early are the Phoenix.
Leafa steps into the pass, gets the steal.
Great read there on the switch.
Going against Trey Cowell as Pardon on the block. Creek sags down to help on the double, and the push shot from Leafa is off.
Breakers had a couple of mismatches, went to Pardon on Kell, didn't work.
Oh, that is the danger of Mitch Creek handling the ball. He's a big, aggressive driver, and the Breakers didn't pick him up quick enough, and he scores easily there.
It just seems to me he's been more offensive-minded this year about putting the ball in the hoop. Of course, that is reflected in leading the league in scoring.
Just under 23 as Brantley goes in, and it counts. Jarrell Brantley with the muscle on Mitch Creek.
Yeah, I think Creek just caught a little bit out of position there. Brantley was aware of it and didn't hesitate. You see this catch on the roll and straight to the bucket. Creek caught on the sides and just didn't give him the landing space to come down. Brantley with a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play if you can get the free throw here.
Brantley makes the three-point play.
Abercrombie on Gary Brown. He guarded a lot of point guard under the Dan Shamir regime.
Certainly did. Tom Abercrombie did pretty well as well. One of the best defenders, but Mitch Creek just too strong.
Man, he just takes advantage of every misstep by the defense. They get the switch on Abercrombie, who's not a bad defender, but Creek has that strength advantage, goes straight to the post, and a lovely finish with the running hook.
Tough screen by Derek Pardon. Abercrombie's in the corner, no one on him. Makes it count.
pure offense there. Nice decision by McDowell White on the attack, and the fine for the easy triple.
Little trap there. Breakers looking to scramble. There's Trey Cow kicking it out to Mitch Creek. He felt the bump from Abercrombie. And will that be shooting? Was he? It is 2 shots coming up for Mitch Creek.
Don't know about that shooting motion, but convinced.
Mody Mo'o's not convinced either.
Yeah, he looked like he took another step after that one on the replay. But regardless, Creek at the free throw line now. It's such a cerebral player as well.
Here we go. Michael Aylan is saying, calm down to Mody Mo'o.
Or you could just tell a volcano not to erupt or the sky not to be blue. I mean, there's a lot of options if you just want to waste your time telling somebody something.
There is a lot of explaining to do from the referees to Mody Mo'o as to why that is a shooting foul, and just to calm down as well. Love the passion from Mody Mo'o. Love the buy-in that this team has in his style and the execution they do at both ends of the floor. Breakers down 10-9, but Abercrombie tried to get the lead back and he misses. Gary Brown over half court. Abercrombie picks him up. Alan Williams, he's big. He can't control it and then does control it, and Derek Parton rips it away. Gerald Brantley now into Mitch Creek, and Mitch Creek's going to be called for the foul, and that's number 2 on him.
Well, an unfortunate foul for Mitch Creek there. You're going to have to send him to the bench early on this one as he just picks up that one in transition. But the Phoenix up to this point doing a really nice job scrambling in these transition opportunities. This looked like a pretty good opportunity that was slowed down because of good defense. The foul comes, and that will send Creek to the bench as Ruben Tarangi checks in.
What a replacement to have in Ruben Tarangi, the tall black, off the bench for the Phoenix. And he can do it all for this team. Does the little things. Creek acknowledged as much in a recent big win that they've had, and Derek Parton can't get that, but he manages to hustle enough so it comes off Alan Williams.
And you talk about the hustle, and those are the little things, not giving up on a play. He doesn't get credit for the rebound. He doesn't get any statistical accolades there, but it's his hustle that regains that possession for the Breakers on that play.
Brantley to McDowell White. 5 to shoot. McDowell White. Oh, that's so pretty.
It's the lovely push shot. You know, when coming off that on ball, most teams I think are expecting him to be the facilitator. He's looked for Parton with a lot of success this season, but he's getting a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end as things go along.
Trey Cal on the reverse, a little strong. Tough drive on the floor, gets back up. McDowell White spinning at midcourt. Tried to do the look away. And it's picked off by Brockhoff.
Phoenix have been impressive in their transition scramble so far, shutting down a few opportunities the Breakers have had, who are one of the better transition teams in the league.
And one of the better teams at turning the ball over. Breakers forcing opposition to steal it, and Gerald Brantley gets the 2-foot, 2-hand dunk, and we've got a timeout from Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix as Barry Brown is about to check in.
Well, this has been a lot of transition opportunity early in this one, as the third Phoenix turnover leads directly to this. Too strong in the post. Brantley throwing it up and then throwing it down. The 3-point lead for the Breakers after that one.
All right, head coach Simon Mitchell caught up with Casey a little bit earlier before the game.
Well, Coach, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix have had as much success offensively against the Breakers as anyone this year. But defensively, maybe a different story with Barry Brown Jr. coming into the game. How does that change your guys' approach to the Breakers?
Yeah, certainly it adds depth to the backcourt, and he's a unique talent. He's got that mid-range game he can get going, and as the season's worn on, his 3-ball's been a lot more effective as well. So he's someone we've watched a lot of video over. We haven't had the experience of guarding him yet, so we're trying a few things to curb his enthusiasm.
And 1-1 against this Breakers team. This is the rubber match that's going to decide a lot of tie-breaking stuff. Of course, you guys got off to that great start last round when you want the 22-point win with that physicality inside of Williams and Creek. How can you replicate that today?
Yeah, well, for sure we'll be looking to target the post again, going inside offensively. We're able to draw a few fouls out of the Breakers last game, and they had a little trouble down with fouls like last game against Brisbane as well. So we're certainly going to be going hard at the rim and trying to get those fouls and get ourselves to the free throw line and get some gimmies.
I appreciate the time, Coach. Good luck.
Man, Simon Mitchell sounds like he's been yelling a lot. He's got a coach's voice box right now. Coming up to the midway point of the season, always appreciate the time afforded to us by the coaches and the players pre-game. And off that Brantley dunk, Barry Brown is in the game. And Phoenix inbound to Gary Brown, so the Brown-Brown matchup.
Phoenix 4 for 5 from the field. The 3 turnovers a blemish right now. They can take care of that basketball. This offense is playing with unbelievable efficiency.
Hands in the passing lane. Tarangi on the weak side. Trey Cowell on the weak side for the offensive rebound. A nice pass to Alan Williams.
Williams is just getting that table set. Thanksgiving was last weekend for the Americans, but Alan Williams still partaking in the giving season as everybody's hooking him up with these easy layups.
McDowell White to Abercrombie. Barry Brown in the corner. Barry Brown almost knocked that down. Everyone sort of lulled to a false sense of security there with Barry Brown and Gary Brown looking to go to working. Off the bounce, Gary Brown, nothing but net.
Well, Gary Brown, yeah, he's leading the league in assists, but I have a feeling that if he chooses to turn it on and look for his own number a few more times, that scoring average is going to go way up.
Abercrombie to Terrell Brantley. I like this matchup on Reuben Tarangi. He's a good defender himself, and Brantley stepping through that double team is fouled.
Man, that is just really strong hands shown on that drive there. Brown got a lot of arm. Most players completely lose that ball, aren't able to get that shot up, but the strength of Brantley on display there as he just rips through that little reaching foul by Gary Brown, is able to get that shot up, doesn't get the bucket, but earns himself another trip to the free throw stripe.
Former Phoenix player Cam Glidden into the game for Tom Abercrombie. Tom Vodanovic will check in once Brantley, if he makes that second free throw. And into the game for the Phoenix is Ty Smith-Milner, tall black as well.
Looking for point number 7 here is Brantley.
Ryan Brockhoff, he sits and he makes that free throw, and Vodanovic will check in. Kyle Adnam in game number 200. Congratulations to Kyle Adnam. I love the way you summed him up, Casey.
A testament to perseverance. You know, a great article on the NBL site right now talking about what he was dealing with to become a player. A lot of people doubted him, but thankfully for him, he never doubted himself. 10 years, 200 games, quite an accomplishment.
Great milestone for him. Williams and Pardon, the whistle will be blown pretty shortly, I imagine. There it is, Alan Williams going to work on Derek Pardon.
Alan Williams, aggressive early in this one.
I think he's read all the Pardon press, and I think he has taken it upon himself to say Alan Williams is here as well, guys.
Well, let's not forget that big win against the Breakers in West Auckland. That was really the coming out party for Alan Williams. Before that, there were questions about his quality as an import, which have obviously been answered. But he has a little chip on his shoulder himself. 8 points already, 4 for 4 from the field, 3 rebounds, and just put the second foul on Derek Pardon, who heads to the bench with that foul trouble.
Rob Lowe is back in the Breakers unit. A concussion and a lower back issue as well. Derek Pardon sits with 2 fouls, no points. Barry Brown forced into a tough shot there.
Just trying to sell the foul, but not enough contact. Good D from Tarangi.
Glidden with the rebounds.
Breakers need to keep pushing this pace. They've had some advantage in transition. They need to continue to look for it.
And Barry Brown now starting to work his magic. Gets fouled on the make.
Interesting rotation change as Tohi Smith-Milner checks in before Dan Pinot, who checks in right away. But what a drive by Barry Brown Jr. in transition. Downhill, straight to the cup, kiss with the left hand. Now to the line with a chance to tie it up.
Brown Jr. at the line, a 67.5% free throw shooter. Breakers historically a poor free throw shooting team throughout the years. This year, a tick under 71% for 7th in the league. All locked up at 18. 3:36 to go in this first quarter in Christchurch.
Both teams brought their offensive work pails to lunch today, or their offensive lunches to work, one of those ways. I'll get it later.
We've got a long game, it's all good. Dane Pino is in the game. He had a breakout season a few seasons ago. Just a rebounding machine for the Phoenix. He's had some injury issues, and he's just finding his hunger before the game on the glass again. And he'll match up with Rob Lowe. As Gary Brown fires it into the stands, and that is turnover number 4 for the Phoenix.
And just expected, I think, Smith-Milner to fade a little bit further on that pick and pop. But solid defensive recovery from Brown Jr., making what looked like an easy pass just that much more difficult.
Mojo Chi for the Phoenix. The big Chinese center, very good defender. Excellent in the paint. Barry Brown killing it from downtown.
Well, right now the Phoenix are daring him to shoot the jump shot, and he's taken that bet and has made him pay on 1 or 2. Let's see if the strategy sticks.
Well, Simon Mitchell mentioned that to you. Gary Brown misses that. He is starting to hit that 3 ball. And he's certainly starting to warm up here. Bogdanovic steps into that 3.
Well, Pinot gets called for the foul there as Rob Lowe had good position.
The Christchurch crowd love it.
And a big effort there by Rob Lowe to retain possession, a 3-point lead now and a chance to build on it as Bogdanovic let the quick one fly, couldn't get it. You see it down low. Pinot, a little unlucky with that one, but a bit too much contact on the arm, and foul number 5 on the Phoenix sends Rob Lowe to the line for the bonus free throws.
Rob Lowe, a double-double machine in the Sal's NBL for the Tuatara. Just been, and he's had a stop-start season so far for Modi Mao. He's at the line now. This will feel good for Rob Lowe just to get the touch. It's good on the seconds. 23-18. 5-point lead for the Breakers as Brockhoff heads to the scorer's table to check in for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Toy Smith-Milner getting a bit of a burn here. Just firing it almost to midcourt. Over midcourt, but Kyle Adnam, game 200, picks it up, and he's going to put it off the glass and down. That almost went down, and that will be Breakers' ball. My goodness, how did that not go down?
I mean, more than halfway. Really clever move, finding some space inside. Couldn't get the kiss because the Christchurch rim's a bit unkind, and then somehow the bounce goes the Breakers' way as well off the rebound.
Genuine title contenders, that is what they are calling the Breakers. And at the midway point, Barry Brown, he liked that look. Oh, that's quick. Oh, my goodness.
Man, poor defense on the help side as Tohei Smith-Milner got caught looking, and the quickness of Barry Brown Jr. on display to its full effect there.
Trey Kell looked like he had visa issues. He got caught, held back so far.
That can happen. You know, sometimes you're not stuck in the mud. You're just playing against somebody who's super quick, but boom, see you later. Kell playing that Linda Ronstadt defense. That blue bayou. Only people over 45 will understand that joke.
I understand that joke.
Case in point.
The trap there. Brockhoff. Cam Clinton, the enforcer.
And just a bit too aggressive offensively, but that would be foul number 5 on the Breakers. So Brockhoff to the line.
He went full Bill Lambert there. Only players and people over the age of 45 will understand who that player is. That's why Casey didn't laugh. I digress.
I still got Lambert. YouTube highlights live on forever, especially about the tough NBA 80s.
Jarrell Brantley ready to check in. I tell you what, Jarrell Brantley, he works up a sweat pre-game.
Mentally and physically. This guy, he puts himself on that razor's edge. Just invests so much himself into the preparation, and to great effect.
Brockhoff splits the pair there, shooting 91% is Ryan Brockhoff. As Rob Lowe and Will McDowell-White operate to perfection.
How about this first quarter from Will McDowell-White? He has played the point guard position as well as you can do it. Offensively, defensively, looking for his own, setting the table for his teammates on this one. Just draws in Tohei Smith-Milner with that extra dribble, knows that Adnam doesn't have the size to compete with Rob Lowe if he throws it high, and then gets the cheap foul to boot.
And Will McDowell-White, the last time they played at Trust, he was coming off not only they all were, tough little travel schedule. No, I don't mean to diminish it by saying little, but it was grindy for them, and he was gassed. He had some sort of virus, and he was absolutely cooked. He still played his minutes, but I remember just watching him walk off the floor. Oh, as Trey Cowell gets free on the baseline. Miscommunication there.
Well, nice job by Alan Williams there to be the fulcrum of the offense and set that up, showing he doesn't just have to score, but he can be a facilitator as well. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and his first assist in the ball game. Just of note, Gary Brown, 4 turnovers in the first quarter.
They're pressuring him. Also, he's had a couple of careless ones.
And that's all 4 turnovers on the Phoenix ledger, attributed to him right now.
Gary Brown. 3-ball. That looked good as soon as it left the hand.
Alan Williams does not step up. Gave him way too much airspace. Brown Jr. takes advantage, knocking down the triple with ease.
Let's see if they go to Alan Williams in the post against Rob Lowe. They don't. Barry Brown, it's starting to be his quarter now. He's only been in it 5 minutes. Rob Lowe, trailer 3, knocks it down! Oh, the Breakers are putting on a clinic at the moment.
And dominating in transition. They are getting opportunity after opportunity when they secure the defensive rebound.
The Afras all over Adnam. Adnam in trouble, finds Williams. And there's Rob Lowe all over Alan Williams. And that'll be 2 shots for Alan Williams. Don't forget, the Phoenix put 38 on them at Truss in the first quarter. The Breakers have 34 on them here.
There we see the Rob Lowe triple off the nice delivery. Alan Williams playing way too far off, worried about the bucket, not respecting the jumper. Rob Lowe makes him pay, but on the other end, Williams back to the line, and you mentioned Brokoff maybe looks for him. Maybe he should look for him every time. He's got 10 points. He hasn't missed from the floor or the free throw line yet.
And this will tie Barry Brown for the leading scorer in the game, who has 11. It does, Alan Williams, nothing but net. 23.4 seconds to go. Breakers can hold for the last shot. Or they could find Cam Glidden in the corner. Maybe give it to a guard, and that's the savviness of Cam Glidden right there.
Had it been Cam Glidden to Rob Lowe, that would have flown up. Instead, 1 more possession.
Here we go. Pino on an island with Barry Brown, who's cooking. Barry Brown kicking it to Rob Lowe, to his left. Knocks it down though, and Rob Lowe leaves it hanging to close the quarter at Christchurch Arena. And the Breakers have put 37 on the Phoenix. They have short memories.
Oh my! An offensive explosion as a retort to the Phoenix's previous explosion themselves. What a quarter, the Breakers finding so much success in transition.
Up 14, the Breakers in control at quarter time. Welcome back to Christchurch Arena in Otautahi. The Breakers, 14-point lead. Phoenix looked good to start with. Went to Alan Williams, but Rob Lowe and Barry Brown off the bench, Casey Frank.
22 points off the bench, impressive. But what does Brooke Roscoe have for us in the meantime?
Yeah, for the Phoenix, they said they have to identify the hot man. Now, the hot man, there's a few of them with this Breakers team right now. It was Rob Lowe, Barry Brown, and you know what Terrell Brantley can do. The other thing was identify who can score for them. They had a moment there where Mitch Creek was on the bench, and we know what Alan Williams has done all season long, especially over these last 4 or 5 games. They really got cooking early in the game. They came off, and it kind of dried up. So who's going to step up and take their third load and fill the ball up?
Yeah, real converse in recognition of who's got the hot hand. Rob Lowe comes on, gets hot, scores 11 points in just 4 minutes. Alan Williams out for the majority of that quarter. Could have used a little bit more of the ball in hand. His teammates just couldn't get it to him.
Going back to Alan Williams and Rob Lowe. Vintage Rob Lowe, that is number 3 on him, 2 in quick succession. And so Simon Mitchell knows where the strength lies in this unit, and that's with Alan Williams on the front line against the Breakers as Derek Pardon comes into the game with 2 fouls himself.
Well, as big as Alan Williams is, we see in that play how light on his feet he can be, as Rob Lowe was trying to sucker him into the charge. Instead, he goes with that spin move, loses that real contact on him, and forces Michael Aylen to call the blocking foul on Rob Lowe, who now heads to the bench. Still just over 4 minutes, 11 points in that time.
Incredible. Great performance from Rob Lowe, who's been out the last few weeks. And for him to come into the game and just inject himself, stretch that floor, that's what Rob Lowe can do. And now Alan Williams at the line. This is the first. Breakers have Perth on Saturday night at Spark Arena. Get to Spark Arena on Saturday night. Their traditional rivals, the Perth Wildcats. Through most of the last decade, the championship went through New Zealand and Perth. With all due respect to Melbourne United.
Of course, the Corey Webster homecoming, perhaps he'll be naturally immune to the fan retorts to him out there.
Barry Brown, look away to Abercrombie. Here comes Pardon with 6 on the shot clock. A little bit of hesitation, fires it over the top.
Oh, good hand.
Broken up by Mitch Creek. Mitch Creek trying to step through. And we've got a foul, I believe. Yes, it's going to be a foul. It's going to be on Brantley, I believe.
Well, you can also see that in that quarter-time break that Simon Mitchell said, hey, let's get on the rim. Let's force this Breakers team to commit a few more fouls. We know that we tend to get them in trouble in that area, and we've seen 2 possessions straight to the rim, not letting the Breakers have any kind of break whatsoever on that end of the court.
And that 37 points that the Breakers have on the board, it's the best first quarter by the Breakers team in a 40-minute game. And that is over 413 games played by the Breakers in the NBL. These 2 offensive, though, offenses have been firing. 112 scored on the Bullets by the Breakers in their last game. 116 by the Phoenix, taking on Illawarra. So the offenses are getting to work as Brantley puts the move on, and Pardon is pulled down, I believe, by Trey Cowell.
Yeah, pull or a push from behind. Had it been a push in the air, that could have been dangerous. You might have seen something else. So interesting to see on the replay, but what a move by Brantley up high, catches Mitch Creek reaching, so he starts teaching, tosses up the lob that Pardon cannot connect with, but Breaker ball on the baseline regardless.
And Mitch Creek knew he got caught gambling a little bit there.
And here the question from Modi Maor is, why isn't that a shooting shot? And getting his answer, which probably comes along with, calm down, man. You went for a lob.
He's allowed to go for a jump forward.
It's over 800 games of NBL experience, not to mention FIBA international experience. The explanation there. Succinct and to the point from Michael Aylen. Pardon, up high. He's made all his shots in this NBL season in the key. Barry Brown on Trey Cowell. Look at the footwork. Barry Brown, high arcing shot, knocking it down as high as the Alps.
Man, he is on one right now, just kind of toying with his dinner out there. Really searching for that three-point shot as we get a foul on Kell, the illegal screen up high.
Trey Kell, not a great couple of possessions at either end. Picked up 2 quick fouls, so Trey Kell.
He wears this one. Look at the contact between him and Brantley. Just kind of lost his footing there, trips over, takes out Mitch Creek, and that is his second as well.
Now it's Simon Mitchell demanding an explanation. And he's going to get one, so they're just going to wait until he's sorted out. Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix had a rough start. What looked like a loaded roster, but key players out. Gary Brown was out. Joe Chi hadn't arrived yet. They've strung it together. They're sitting at 7-5 mid-table. But to come to Christchurch, get a win, that'll be a statement win as well. Over the Breakers is Leafa. This is that. Corralled by Alan Williams. Brown has Mitch Creek to his left. Mitch Creek, set shot. Front of the rim, Trey Kell tried to pull it down. Finds Broekhoff, and I think Broekhoff has stepped out on that rebound, so it will be Breakers' ball.
I'm wondering if they're saying that he landed with it before he passed or he stepped off before he took off. Couldn't see from this angle. Either way, Breakers keep the ball. A good bit of hustle there, negated by the end line. Surprising the Breakers don't go a little bit at Mitch Creek here with those 2 fouls. Be quite the bonus to get him with his third.
And you're looking at a mismatch here as Brantley has 3 Phoenix players around him, and Abercrombie airballs that 3. Very un-Tom Abercrombie-like.
Whittemore seen enough. He wants a timeout. If there's a make, the offense becoming a little stagnant for the Breakers though for the quarter.
Not a lot of ball movement as Trey Kell misses the 3. Let's see if they get a bit more movement now. Whittemore ushering them down the floor. Leafa, Creek goes under the Pardon screen. Again, trying to fire it into the can. It hasn't quite worked for the Breakers, but Leafa has the hustle. Barry Brown has a notion, drives baseline, left hand roll, as Pardon cleans it up, kicks it out to Leafa, new 14, back into the post for Pardon. Williams with a single coverage, will back himself. Abercrombie with under 5 to shoot, it's Leafa. Trey Kell corrals that long rebound. Trey Kell over Abercrombie off the glass. That is smooth, and Mody Moore wants to talk about it.
Impressive defensive start to the quarter for the Phoenix, scrambling really nicely, even off the offensive rebound there, continuing to challenge looks and then finding a bit of success in transition on their own. Kell with a tough fadeaway over Abercrombie, getting the kiss, cutting the lead to 12 and putting a bit of pressure back on this Breakers squad.
Isaiah, Tom, hey, this is not our offense. This is fucking crap, and you're starting this because you're fucking passive against the press. Get the fucking ball.
Let's just check out some other stuff instead of the Breakers timeout. Apologies for the language there.
You gotta love what this is what it's actually like in a huddle.
Well, let's hear from Barry Brown and how he can expect to make an impact, like he did in the first quarter, straight off the bench.
I mean, really, I'm just trying to go out there and give them my all on offense and defense, and I think that my coaches and my teammates kind of put me in a position to be able to score the ball, you know, like at a good rate. You know what I'm saying? Have the ball in my hands at a good rate, playing for this club, and I appreciate them for that. And but yeah, my mindset is just kind of just to be aggressive on offense, be aggressive on defense, do whatever the team needs. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to put wins in the column. So.
Well, let's go to Brooke now, who had an error in the Phoenix timeout.
Yeah, I did, and a little happier with that first 3 minutes of how that quarter started. Still a few things to work on. Left a little bit out there in terms of defensive rebounds, tidying a few things up, a little bit more mongrel, but in terms of that first 3 minutes instead of that first quarter, much happier.
Trey Kell picks up foul number 3. That's a cheap one on him.
And a silly foul, just grabbing McDowell White quite obviously from behind, trying to slow down the cut. But just too obvious with it. Picks up a number 3 as mentioned, and he'll head to the bench. Ruben Tarangi back in the ball game. Foul trouble for the Phoenix, 3 on Kell, 2 on Creek. multiple other players with one for the Breakers. 3 on Lowe, 2 on Pardon. So a bit of trouble for the front court.
Dow White get into the cut round Ryan Broekhoff.
I just love the decision-making of McDowell White today. He has not put a wrong foot forward. Everything he's decided to do has been the right decision.
Here's Creek with the lane. Brantley staying in front of him. Simon Mitchell is up off the bench going, that's a foul. That was a blocking foul.
What he did a really nice job of is moving the body in front before swiping down and showed tremendous quickness with the feet. Might have gotten some arm there, didn't see the replay, but because of the body in the right place, gets away with it.
Creek off the glass, that's a nice move.
He just sees that matchup and immediately knows that it's bucket time. You've got to send the double almost right away, but with Adnam on the strong side, you don't want to leave that shooter.
Talangi in the game. Switching on to Brantley. This will be a tough cover, but Raymond Talangi will back himself as Brantley goes to work. Looking to spin. We've seen that move 1,000 times this season already, and it hasn't changed.
Oh, lovely kiss off the glass this time. He really mixes in the quickness with the strength, making him such a difficult player to guard down there.
Breakers lead still in double digits, it's 14. Brantley showing on the double there, putting the ball pressure as they make the Phoenix go through their shot clock. Broekhoff tried to put it behind his back and turns it over. Brantley at midcourt turns it over. Broekhoff gets it back. He stumbles a little bit. They almost knock it off the rim.
Alan Williams claims that one.
Broekhoff wipes the soles of the sneaks.
That was a bit of an awkward finish attempt by Broekhoff there, but Alan Williams there to pick up the slack. 14 points, 5 for 5 from the field. Just the lone miss at the free throw line.
Dow White looking at Pardon, and Pardon catches it over Alan Williams. And he'll be called for the foul, and that is foul number 3 on Alan Williams. So, excuse me, foul number 2 on him. So, starting to stack up a little bit for the Phoenix.
Sorry, Moles, did you wrong there? I thought it was number 3, but a nice, once again, table setting by McDowell White. Pulls Alan Williams in, and at the last second drops it off and just gets Alan Williams out of position, forcing that foul.
14 fouls on the Phoenix. And we're still waiting for some points off the bench in this one. Of course, the Breakers have a bunch of points off the bench, and Barry Brown and Rob Lowe, 25 for them off the bench.
It's almost cheating to call Barry Brown Jr. points off the bench, though.
No, it's technically...
It's technically correct.
I mean, he could play 39 minutes and 59 seconds, and he's off the bench.
It's true. He's just got to get that one.
Gary Brown with Barry on him, and Barry Brown will be called for the foul as Mitch Creek tried to cut down.
14 fouls on both teams now. He's shooting free throws the rest of this way, no matter who the foul is called on.
Just the first on Brown.
And a good roll by Mitch Creek. Sells the contact just a bit. Mitch Creek getting a little handsy in there, trying to up the aggression, trying to see if he can't get under the skin of this Breaker squad.
Now this is the matchup. Pardon's got 2.
Abercrombie from behind, I think.
Yeah.
And you'd hope so, otherwise that's going to be Derek Pardon's 3rd, and it is Thomas Abercrombie with the reach from behind. Picking up the Chiefy, his 2nd personal foul. And
well, here we go, shots with 4:57 to go.
Good strong post move. You see Alan Williams just refusing to get done. Thomas Abercrombie thought he had it lined up, he does not.
Derek Pardon walking a fine line there with an elbow and a couple of hands on the back.
Yeah, I certainly think the Breakers were relieved to see that an Abercrombie foul instead of a Pardon foul.
Gladden on the make. We'll check into the game as Abercrombie takes a seat. 2 fouls for the captain.
This token pressure by the Phoenix has completely taken the Breakers out of their transition game. They're really successful with that in that first quarter, but here in the second quarter, the offense has slowed down. Just 9 points for each team up to this point.
Not a lot of flow in the second quarter. Both teams making adjustments. Dow White again. Dow White a little strong on that floater.
Beautiful basketball, though. Nothing wrong with the shot selection or creation there.
What the Breakers are doing really well is showing on that high ball and closing down those passing lanes, and you could say the Phoenix are doing the same. As Barry Brown continues to shoot the lights out at Christchurch Arena.
He is on one. 17 points, 6 for 9 from the field, 4 for 4 from deep.
He may just have his season average before halftime.
I think he got mad he dipped between 20 points. He is going to correct it today.
Adnam stepping into a three. Alan Williams, great look to Gary Brown on the baseline.
Alan Williams tremendous on the glass, 15 points, 8 rebounds already.
Phoenix are 1 for 7 from 3. Alan Williams putting it up. What is that jump shot release? I've not seen that.
Well, that's just a prayer.
That is certainly a prayer.
I think much like Parton, he knows his place is inside, but had no choice but to put it up there.
Southeast Melbourne averaging 33% from deep, 7th in the league. They're not very good at defending the three-point line as Brantley, on cue, makes my point very salient, and Simon Mitchell needs to talk about it because they are letting teams shoot 37% from downtown, and the Breakers are shooting 64%, 9 of 14.
We came in this game talking about the ability of Gary Brown to set the table, but how about William McDowell-White running this offense to perfection, finding Ruben Tarangi just a half step out of position, puts that ball on a platter for Brantley to complete the three. He's now in double figures with 12, and the Breakers are rolling on the offensive end again.
17 points for Barry Brown, 5 assists for Will McDowell-White, to go along with his 7 points. And that is a long time for the Phoenix coaches. You know, the players are just talking about it. There's just 17 seconds left in this timeout. And Simon Mitchell into it right now.
Everything with Barry Brown. All right, but it's a tough one on that when it's a quick flick like that. We need to get a little more pressure on it, okay? Those ball reversals, we certainly need that nail, but we got to relieve a little earlier, okay? So we get a bit of ball pressure, slow that pass down, we're okay. Hey, we're in snap mids right now, okay? Snap, stay in our snaps, okay? Here we go, guys. Hey, 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 hey! Let's make a little dent on this right now, let's go. I'll work.
And Brock, what'd you hear at the Breakers huddle?
Yeah, Coach Modi, it takes a lot to impress him on the defensive end. He is impressed at the moment. They scramble really, really well on that last set of defense. Offensive rebound from the Phoenix. They got back, they got it, then they got out in transition and found Barry Brown Jr. for the three-point shot. So it's a lot to impress this man on the defensive end, and right now, he's extremely happy.
You can imagine so, because Casey, those shooting numbers from all over the floor, stellar.
The Breakers shooting 57% from the field, 9 for 14 from deep, and that's that three-point line. That's the difference as Gary Brown misses the layup. 8 three-pointers, the difference between the Breakers and the Phoenix right now. The Phoenix just 1 for 7, the Breakers 9 for 14 at 64%.
McDowell-White working with Pardon. And Alan Williams, I mean, he gave up 2 there, but they are doing a really good job on it. But I think the Breakers now are just stretching the floor out with that three-point shooting, making the Phoenix a little bit hesitant. And Pardon, though, pick up foul. No, it's Cam Glidden, luckily for Pardon.
He quickly put his hand up and said, "That's me. That is not Pardon." Nice drive and dish there by Gary Brown. Alan Williams, once again, the recipient, doing a nice job off that weak side post and spacing into the correct area. Cam Glidden gonna make him earn at the line, whereas he's shown his only slight dents in the armor as he's now 5 for 8, shooting 63% from the stripe.
He's a pretty good foul shooter at 78.6% for a big man. This is the second, and Ruben Tarangi, though, is there on the offensive glass. He's out hustled Cam Glidden. High arcing hook from Alan Williams,
who's now up to 17 points on 6 for 7 from the field to counterbalance that 5 for 9 from the free throw line.
Gary Brown is getting worked through the screens. Like a dirty pair of socks in the spin cycle.
Caught me on that one.
Barry Brown misses that. Alan Williams with a beast rebound.
He is just doing such a phenomenal job on the glass on both ends. His 9th of the game.
Creek with a tough catch. Has the mismatch. McDowell-White on him. Glidden. 3 Boomers players all around each other, and Gary Brown is called for the foul. Modi Moore wanted a timeout, but he waved it off, and that will be 2 shots coming up for the Breakers.
The Phoenix upset about the no call on Mitch Creek, leading right into the block call on Gary Brown. Mitch Creek adamant there's contact on that rip-through, doesn't get the whistle that time, and ignites another fast break attempt at the breakers. With the Phoenix's only solution to get the foul, stop the break, but send Brown Jr. to the line.
Man, this game feels a lot closer than it is. And they are just, again, the breakers just pouring it on.
The Phoenix aren't playing poorly.
No.
I think they're forcing the breakers into the shots they want, but the efficiency with which the breakers are finishing right now, and the creation of the offense by William McDowell-White in particular for other teammates, and Barry Brown Jr. calling his own number, is just tremendous to watch here in the first half.
Well, the breakers #1 in the league defending the three-point line. Opponents are averaging just 30.3 points, percentage wise from the three-point line. And so the Phoenix want to get everybody in foul trouble. But Gary Brown, another turnover with Rob Lowe in the game. And Glidden, a rare layup for Cam Glidden. Over 90% of his shots and makes are from from three-point land.
I think that's the third inside the key this year. Don't quote me on it, but not many. Takes advantage when he can, though.
And congratulations to Cam Glidden, 3,000 career points for the swing man.
Another bucket drops as the Phoenix trucking along, not having a poor display by any means up there at 40 points, but it just can't find a way to slow down this Breakers unit. Brown Jr. blows away to the rim again.
Barry Brown, 21 in the game.
7 for 11 from the field, 4 for 4 from deep.
He was the missing piece in the loss at Trust Arena.
Oh, no, I don't know what
Jarrell Bradley, he's talking to the ref. And he's getting told to calm down, and everybody's walking off. We've got a timeout.
Everybody on the team said, let's just go this way, guy.
Well, you've got a 23-point lead.
Don't wear it now. As Mitch Creek, I think that was some of the rallying he did for the previous call, got it on this one. There's not much Brantley could do there. It looked like he was in solid defensive position. All the contact created by Mitch Creek. But the gangliness of the fall gets him a foul call whistled, and deservedly so. Taking a look at these stats, Breakers yet to miss from the free throw line. 64% from three, now up to 59% overall. 13 rebounds, 10 assists, and have forced 9 turnovers, and 5 of those from Gary Brown. What an impressive display by the Breakers on both halves of the court. You know that they have been discussing that last game of the Phoenix since that game happened.
The Bullets and Wildcats are next on ESPN. And then tomorrow night, the 36ers and the Taipans, big win for the Taipans against the Sydney Kings, which gifted the Breakers first place in the standings. I don't mean to belittle what the Breakers have done, but that certainly helped. The Kings losing that game and Xavier Cook's return. And the Breakers will do it again. They'll host the Wildcats on Saturday night. And the Phoenix will play United at John Cain Arena for another throwdown. Brooke Roscoe.
Yeah, the Phoenix talking about one thing, and that's building a wall. Basics when it comes to basketball. But the other thing that was touched on at the very, very end there, you learn this at a very young age. You're mucking someone, stay in front of that person, and that's what they're going to go back to. The basics that you learn at a very, very young age. That's my man. Put my heart in front of him, see if I can stop him, because at the moment, it's a bit of a free picking.
Well, and eventually that's what it comes down to, especially when you're getting beat on-one. It's just about pride, proud of not getting beat, putting it on your shoulder, taking it upon yourself, and in particular against Barry Brown Jr. That has been a difficult task here in the first half. Mitch Creek getting a little bit back at the line, up to 11 points now.
Alan Williams has 19 as well.
19 and 9 at the half.
19 and 9 at the half.
Not bad.
He averages 16 and 9 for a game.
And he's been on a tear of late, averaging over 21, I believe, in his last 4 games, but man, he is.
I think he had a real point to prove against Derek Harding.
Maybe.
That certainly helps. You love to see it. Rob Lowe has it tipped away the pass. And we got a foul on Alan Williams, I believe, slapped him hard.
That's an unfortunate foul for Alan Williams there as he picks up his 3rd personal now. With under a minute left to go in the half, that's going to be a costly one in the second half. And most probably affect the aggressiveness with which he can play on both ends.
Well, maybe it's time Mitch Creek needs to start working his way into the on-ball at the offensive end as well. That did work really well for them at Trust Arena a few rounds ago. And with Alan Williams out, we'll see what Mitch Creek can do, because he has a lot of tools in that lunch pail of his.
And one player, of course, not here, Joe Chi, and the Phoenix really missing his rim protection at the moment. Of everything that Alan Williams does, one of the things is not block shots. And with Chi in the middle, it would be a lot more difficult for the Breakers to get the rim finishes that they've been consistently finding today.
If you've got tools in your lunchbox, that's not great. You really want them in your toolbox.
They could go anywhere.
Yeah, Joe Chi, great point. Cam Glennon with the catch and the shoot. And the nothing but nylon rip shot is good.
Doing it from deep, doing it from inside, crossing that 3,000-point structure.
10 threes for the Breakers in this half. 10 of 15. 5 to shoot. Phoenix. Manua got to get it up. And that'll do us at Christchurch Arena. The Breakers walking off the floor again with another big halftime lead. They lead the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix 63-39. Put 63 on the Phoenix? My goodness.
A tremendous first and second quarter put together. The offense is carrying that load right now and doing just enough defensively, despite the Phoenix shooting 48%, to give themselves this fat 24-point lead.
And Barry Brown, who had a heck of a first half, 21 points, is with Brooke Roscoe right now.
Yeah, he had a huge first half, 21 points, 4-4 from deep. You're cooking out there. What are you seeing?
We're just able to space the floor and penetrate and kick. My guys finding me. I'm able to knock some shots down.
Dominating on defense, getting out in transition. It looks good, feels good.
It feels good to get stops always. We got to do better on the boards a little bit. They're getting some offensive rebounds, but for the most part, I think we're doing well.
Good luck in the second half.
He's sucking in the big ones, Brooke. Here's Alan Williams.
In their first half, tough one. How do you turn this one around?
Just got to start defensively. We haven't played very good defense, and it's something we're going to talk about at halftime for sure.
Well, you've had a big first half yourself. It looks like you came out with a point to prove. Derek Potter and you guys have had a fun battle down there.
Yeah, you know, anytime you get to go against a player of his caliber, it's an exciting time. So, yeah.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you to Alan and Barry for their time. 63-39 at Christchurch Arena. The Breakers are the real deal, that is for sure.
Welcome back to Christchurch Arena, where the Breakers are proving why they are at the top of the table. 63-39 in the first half. In case what you like.
Well, everything about the Breakers offensively was impressive. They ran their stuff really well. Obviously, shooting the lights out. The aggressiveness of Barry Brown Jr. off the bench got that offense to another level. Defensively doing just enough to slow down this Phoenix team, and because they're defending the three-point line, that's the real difference in the game, is the abnormality in threes.
Can the Breakers keep that up? That is the million-dollar question right now. They had 67 in the first half, the other game 63 tonight. They're going to be tough to beat if they ever slow down.
I'll tell you what, if they shoot 67% from the three-point line, I don't think anyone anywhere is going to beat them on a nightly basis. Those Phoenix have to find a way to slow the shooting down, but right now, they've got no answers because of the perfection to which the Breakers are running the offense.
Well, they've done a great job inside, outside, getting to the free throw line as well. As you look at this case, what do you really highlight? What do you see?
The discrepancy in the three-pointers. It's 10 for 15. That's 67% for the Breakers and 1 for 9 for the Phoenix. If they're not shooting threes in this game for a better degree in the second half, it's going to be impossible for them to get back into it. At the same time, they're going to have to defend the Breakers better from three, force some more drives, and get some more rotation coming over.
What else is impressive is the brand of basketball they're playing at the moment, and only have 3 turnovers. Now, Alan Williams has done his part. He came out huge, and it kind of looked like he was out there to attack Derek Pardon, who has been the NBL Player of the Month.
And it looked like that's what they wanted to do early. Right away, they're going at Williams, to Williams, at Pardon, and his teammates are finding him around the key. If anything, they could have kept going to him with a little bit more regularity. There was a stretch there in the second quarter where he just didn't have the ball. Despite that, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 2 on the offensive end, doing a lot, but tough to catch up shooting twos when the opposition is banging home threes.
Well, who needs to step up for them as well? Mitch Creek has been huge, 12 points, 19 for Williams, but who really needs to step up for the Phoenix?
Well, I'd like to see something from Brokoff in the second half. When you're talking threes for the Phoenix, there's nobody better at doing it than them. They've been having some trouble finding him off ball. The Breakers giving him a lot of attention.
Well, I'll tell you who hasn't had trouble tonight is Barry Brown Jr. 4 for 4 from deep, got to the free throw line as well, and ended up with 21.
Well, he's just been fantastic offensively, whether it's shooting the three from deep or it's whether these explosive drives to the rim. Every decision he's making is the right one. You see the percentages, 7 for 11 from deep, and shooting even better from the three-point line. And with the explosive power he has going to the basket, if he's shooting like that from behind the arc, that is a difficult prospect indeed to try and defend.
With that first step that he has as well. Now, if you were the coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix going into the half right now, what would you be saying in that locker room?
Well, let's take a little pride. We never know what's going to happen. We know that we can explode offensively on this team. We can have a 40-point quarter. We just need to slow them down. Do something defensively. Let's find some rhythm from deep. And you never know, we can have ourselves a game in the fourth.
Well, Coach Modi, you know he sets his defense, and that's where it all comes. That's the identity of this Breakers team. He's not often very happy, but he seemed happy in that first half.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The Phoenix did shoot 48%, and they're doing reasonably well offensively, but the way this offense is playing, hopefully he's got a smile on his face at halftime.
Well, the crowd here at Christchurch seems extremely happy right now. Halftime, Breakers are leading this one 63-39. We'll be back after the break to see who brings this one home.
welcome back to Christchurch Arena. Oh my goodness. The Breakers put on a half of basketball, 63 points to 39 over the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. This was two very good defensive teams, rating-wise, and two really firing offenses, but it's been the Phoenix who have been whacked back into shape by the Breakers D.
Well, the Breakers defense really good at the three-point line. They've struggled to contain the Phoenix on the interior. You know, on the inside, they're 12 for 19 from the field, shooting a great percentage, but the Breakers' attention to defending that three-point line, the big difference in this ball game. I mean, for the most part, I'm just glad the building's still here. We're shooting like that. I thought it was going to burn down.
Yes. Breakers shooting 60% from the floor, 10 of 15 from deep, 11 of 13 from 85%. And the Breakers walking back out there for the second half, and hopefully Mitch Creek for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix can start to get cooking, because the league's leading scorer, although he has 12, he'll need to have more in the second half.
Playing with great efficiency, but he's only managed 13 minutes on the court because of that foul trouble. Still sitting with 2, has to be a bit careful, but 12 points, 3 for 4 from the field, seeing those shooting percentages there, but obviously so key to what the Phoenix are able to do. Been tough to get him the basketball in positions where he could be effective up to this point. The Phoenix have to do a better job of that in the second half.
Well, also the Phoenix will need points from their bench. Our producer Rob loves the stat. 0 Phoenix bench points in the first half.
Yeah, and that's not going to get it done when you're going against the best bench scorer in the league. There it is.
They got a key as well.
Of course, those 37 between 3 players, 21 for Brown Jr., 11 for Roblo, and 5 for Cam Glidden. So those 3 guys there showing for the Phoenix might be able to get some scoring done on themselves in the second half.
Yeah, but 0 for the Phoenix.
I was talking about adding them in today.
Yeah.
You keep you just stay in Grob's good graces. Good job, Bulls.
Yeah, exactly, man. Listen,
you know where your bread is buttered.
They can break you, man.
I look for Gary Brown to get himself more involved here in the second half. 3 points, 5 turnovers in that first half, and a key stat, 0 assists for Gary Brown. The man leading the league in assists, not a 1 in the first half.
8.5 is his average. I mean, that's crazy for this 40-minute NBL. But none at the moment. Almost turned it over there as Alan Williams, too strong. And he hangs his head at half court. To start for the Phoenix on this one. Christchurch Arena on their feet. The upper, too strong. The back of the iron. Here comes Mitch Creek over half court.
Nice defense from the Phoenix there. You see they're stepping up a little bit higher on the ball to take that action away.
Here's Creek shooting that nicely.
And he is shooting the ball so well from deep, creeping towards that 40% mark, and the catch and shoot with that kind of quickness is a tremendous offensive weapon to have in his repertoire.
McDowell White using the Brantley screen. He gets it back from the point guard who tried to find Pardon, but Trey Cowell broke that up nicely. That's what the Phoenix have been doing well on defense.
Phoenix trying to get a little bit more physical on the cuts away from the basketball.
Creek can handle it. Cowell gets it back and he gets the and one.
That's just what you need when things are struggling offensively. A bit of a broken play, players out of position, and a cheap foul leading to the N1. Creek can't quite handle it, but a good scramble on the ground between Kell and Creek ends up with the kiss off the glass. Cheap foul on Liafa. A chance to cut it down to 18 points with the free throw.
Well, in the 40-minute game since 2010, the Breakers have never had 60 at halftime twice in any season. It's the first time any team has had back-to-back at least 63-point first halves in the 40-minute era since 2010.
Well, Brantley can't control the rebound. And gonna bring out the Moppets once again. Just still a little bit wet underneath. Nice fight by Mitch Creek to retain possession for the Phoenix there. Desperately needed.
And Alan Williams getting the little man, dapping him up for getting out there with a towel and hustling. Nice to see.
A big smile on his face going back to the baseline.
He's so stoked. Love to see it. Brockhoff missed everything. He's one of the league's best three-point shooters. And the Breakers come away with it.
Brokoff's getting no airspace. They are tightly contesting everything he's doing on the court right now.
Trey Cowell's down. And William McDowell-White tried to find maybe Pardon or maybe a shot, but Pardon couldn't clean it up.
Just not definitive enough with the offense these first couple of possessions.
And here we go, more aggressive as Mitch Creek out of halftime. But McDowell-White gets another rebound. McDowell-White now has 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 points. In the Phoenix, Casey, you know as a player, Brooke as well, just trying to eat away at this lead. You can't do it all at once. You're not probably going to go on a massive run against a defensive unit like this, but you can grind your way through a third quarter and set yourself up for a run in the fourth.
Yeah, and it's one step at a time. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step. You can't play the end game until you play the next game. So they just got to take it possession by possession, and so far, doing a better job of making things difficult for the Breakers on this end.
McDowell-White fouled by Brokoff.
2 fouls on this possession on Brokoff. That'll be his 3rd personal. And he's just struggling to impact the game on either end right now. 1 point, has only had the 3 looks, and now picks up his, that 2nd personal foul.
I imagine people watching this in Australia probably coming home from work, turning on the NBL and thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, what is going on? Well, I'll tell you what happened is Barry Brown came off the bench. Phoenix started really well, had the Breakers in early foul trouble, but then the Breakers put Barry Brown in the game with about 5.5 to go in the first quarter, and he went off. And then Rob Lowe came in the game, and he went off for like 11 points in like 4 minutes. And since then, Phoenix have been desperately trying to play catch-up.
They have just been treading water since then. But still plenty of time in this ballgame.
Gary Brown makes the pull-up.
2 for 5 from the field now, notching his 5th point of the ball game, and he does want to set up his teammates, but he might need to get a bit more aggressive offensively for his own number before that.
McDowell-White, strong on the runner. Breakers do like a runner and a floater from their guards. There's Brantley, 6 to shoot, given room from Creek. Brokoff with the rebound. Crosses half court.
I think if the Breakers don't have better execution on that next possession, we might see a timeout from them.
Mitch Creek with the up fake, finding Cal, the 3rd. Trey Cal's blocked by Leafa. Alan Williams banks it in for points, 21.
A little bit of a twisted ankle for Trey Kell, the 3rd as well. Tremendous defense from Isaiah Leafa, going for the up fake and then recovering from behind. Look at the timing on that one, perfectly timed. Oh, and then you see Kell's ankle as well at the end of that one where he twisted it over.
Looks like he jarred it.
They're going to leave him out there, though. Looked like Junior Madut was going to check into the ball game, but Kell's going to gut it out.
Yo, you gotta stop, bro.
Looking a little ginger. If I'm McDowell-White, I might be attacking him. Oh, that's a soft touch.
That's tough defense from Mitch Creek. Trey Cowell stepped out with the plant foot.
And it's those unforced errors that are just logging bigger and bigger for the Phoenix. Into double figures on turnovers now. And it's the unforced ones that drive the coaches crazy.
McDowell-White will sit down Barry Brown Jr. back in the game. 21 points for him, 7 of 11 shooting. Alan Williams, 21 points for himself, 8 of 10, and has a double-double with 11 rebounds.
Well, Breakers just 2 points up to this point on the insertion of Barry Brown Jr. Let's see how this changes things.
Phoenix has done really well keeping the Breakers off the glass. As Barry Brown and Gary Brown get tied up, but both spring back into action.
Not sure what happened there. As you see come off, Gary Brown just runs straight into him. Looked like he might have tripped over Alan Williams' foot a little bit as he took down.
Breakers to have just 4 offensive rebounds. One of the better offensive rebounding teams, I should say. 12.
But they've only missed 18 shots.
Oh, my bad.
So they're up over 25% on the offensive rebounding stats. So still doing a great job percentage-wise.
Looks like we got a math guy here.
It's me. I've always been known for my accounting.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Harden up high. Hampered a little bit by foul trouble. Just the 4 points and 4 rebounds for him. Liafa firing it to Barry Brown, who decides to put it on the floor this time. Oh, underneath the Broekhoff defense. Pretty from Barry Brown.
Looked like a floater. He changes it into a layup, showing off the athleticism once again. Continuing the show here into the second half.
Trey Kell the third. Alan Williams finding Creek on the baseline. Multiple defenders around him, but Alan Williams again. 2 for him in the paint, 23, keeping pace with Barry Brown.
And just has that push shot down to perfection. Mitch Creek draws that double nicely and sets up Williams for the easy finish.
Well, no one else has a field goal apart from Gary Brown and Trey Kell. With Alan Williams and Mitch Creek going 23 and 15. Gary Brown has 5, Trey Kell has 6, and Ryan Broekhoff has 1 from the free throw line.
The Breakers, you hear him talk about it before the game, it's all about the scout. As we see the 4th personal foul picked up there on Gary Brown.
Oh, wow, he's not had a great game, unfortunately.
A couple of cheap ones here to start the quarter.
5 points for him. Gary Brown, 5 turnovers and 4 fouls. 0 assists for Gary Brown.
He's been so key to the way the Phoenix offense has run up to this point in the season. And whenever you talk to the Breakers about how good they are defensively, they shy away from the praise. They talk, it's the coaching staff, it's the scout, they put us in a great position. But once again, the scout has done exactly what they wanted to. They've gotten the guys they're defending them.
Trey Kell straight into the chest of Barry Brown, and Barry Brown is called for the foul. Excuse me, Isaiah Liafa, my bad.
Just blocked a little bit by Modi Moore there.
Modi Moore talking with Isaiah Liafa. You can see Isaiah Liafa trying his best to stay in front of Trey Kell, but just the block there and put the hand on the ball, but got a little physical with him. Isaiah Liafa just 8 for 5 as well.
This is coming off a 21-point first half against the Brisbane Bullets. But the thing I keep coming back to for this Breakers team is selflessness. The entirety of this squad is continuing to put the success of the team over the success of the individual. And if it's 21 in one game for Isaiah Liafa, it's the next one, it's Barry Brown Jr. or Rob Lowe. It's every game somebody stepping up, and their teammates are always happy for them.
Well, you could tell me this. In a winning unit, that must be really good, but it's when guys aren't getting theirs and when the team's losing, that's when trouble starts, right?
Easy to be unselfish on a winner. You're at least getting the credit for the wins and losses as Derek Pardon.
An offensive rebound.
Some good work on the glass and get the finish, but it's when you're losing the game that selflessness becomes that much more difficult.
Creek cutting. Strong move and blocked, but the foul is called.
That was a fortunate whistle for Mitch Creek there. The push called with the body. Take another look at it. Really nice cut by Mitch Creek on the back. Not a lot of contact in that one. Not a lot down low. You can see that little bit of a hand by Brantley on the hip, which opens the door for the whistle to be blown.
Brooke Roscoe says it's a foul.
Well, Brooke Roscoe would. He's always on the side of the guards. Creek with 15 points. The only double-figure scorer for the Phoenix, along with Williams.
Cam Glennon coming in for Tom Abercrombie. And Ryan Ripper, of course, out with a broken wrist. No date, time frame set for his return, if at all.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we see him coming back. He's moved up into just outside of the lottery now, looking like a top 20 pick based on the work he's already done to this point. And, a lot of players would, of course, put the keys to the car away at that point and go home with it, but it's the guy who loves hooping.
Alan Williams doing work in the key. 25, 10 of 12, 12 rebounds.
He is a load in that low block, continuing to make his presence felt.
He's 25 of the 54 Phoenix points. Here comes Derek Pardon, his opposite. What a battle that has been. Alan Williams has got the better of it in this matchup again. But Pardon with another offensive rebound.
Well, you love to be a big going with a driver like Barry Brown Jr. because he's going to suck that big away from you and the block out and open up opportunities for you on the glass. Derek Pardon takes advantage.
Bogdanovic in the game, so is Madu for the Phoenix. Is Creek operating with Williams. Now Creek's going to go at Pardon. Pardon using that length. He's got a big 7'4" wingspan.
An impressive job guarding a dribbler with the skill of Mitch Creek to that extent.
Now for again looking for his first basket. Can't get that. He's 0 for 7. Just caught somewhere in that floater game.
Pace is really slowed down here, Moles.
Which, if you're not feeling it, it's pretty hard to do. Adnam fires it to Williams, and Williams, I tell you what, his floater game is on point in this game. 27 now, 11 of 13.
Loving that push shot from about 7 feet and in. And continuing to set himself up to be the receiver on these drives by the guards, as Derek Pardon's worried about protecting the basket.
Breakers lead is 17. Rob Lowe looking to check into the game for the Breakers. Barry Brown gets it back. 3 to shoot. And then Trey Cowell likes what he sees, gets around Trey Cowell again with absolute ease.
It's just looking so easy for Barry Brown Jr. on the offensive end.
He's got 27.
Getting wherever he wants, whenever he needs to.
Now Trey Cowell tries to answer back. He misses. Pardon with the 7th rebound of the game, Barry Brown.
Nothing wrong with that look, though. You'll take that one every time he gets it.
Oh, he's feeling it. A little bit of a heat check there for Barry Brown. He's dialed in, though. He's just staring at Kyle Adnam, waiting to see what the NBL veteran can do in game number 200. It's Mitch Creek. He's been around a long time, started out at the 36ers. 8 to shoot now. Adnam calling the play. Alan Williams comes up, stepping through the lane, finds Creek on the baseline. Pretty basketball from the Phoenix.
And I think that's one way the Phoenix can counteract this Breaker defense is with those timely cuts. Mitch Creek has shown a couple in this third quarter where he's gotten looks out of him. One time to the line, that time an easy layup.
Both teams shooting over 50% in this game, Case. Oh, Isaiah Leafa finally gets a bucket.
Just really trying to get the whistle, but instead gets the kiss. And Simon Mitchell has seen enough, calling a timeout, despite a reasonable job, especially on the defensive end. Only 12 points up to this point in the quarter for the Breakers. Slowed down considerably. 19 for the Phoenix. That's reduced the lead, but certainly still sizable.
And we mentioned Ryan Rupert. He is a tremendous talent, French talent, looking at the way he can make an impact in a professional environment. But Jonathan Gavoni from ESPN Draft Express, he loves the look of Ryan Rupert. He says none of his predecessors in the Next Stars program, the likes of Josh Giddey, LaMelo Ball, Ousmane Dieng from the Breakers, along with RJ Hampton, was able to contribute to winning the way Rupert has in the NBL. He was starting for the Breakers, fortunately went down with a wrist injury. And you can see there his position ranked 7, overall ranked 19, so he's well in that first round for the NBA draft.
Yeah, Chase Buford might feel a different way.
Chase Buford was in the comment section making some salient points as well. I'd love to see it. Brook Roscoe, what'd you have from the Breakers timeout?
Yeah, Breakers aren't happy at the moment, so they're really flat. Not like the pace that they're playing at the moment. So 2 things, get the ball and push, rebound and push. Look for a big minute and 28 to really push this lead out, but not happy with the pace that they're playing at right now.
Yeah, become a little bit conservative. Still just the 5 turnovers, but in that first half, it was transition which eventually ignited the flame of that offense. Haven't had those opportunities here in the third quarter. They have to get back on that downhill slope and find that aggressiveness. Sometimes tough to do when you're up around that 20-point margin.
Tarangi misses that 3. They're 2 for 14 for Phoenix.
One of the ugliest transitions of the basketball there. Danovich and Rob Lowe, Cam Glidden all played a little bit of hot patata.
Well, a minute 8 to go in the third. Phoenix are down 19. The Breakers will come back to Christchurch on January 12th. In case the regular season finishes next month.
Goes quick.
Jan 28 for the Breakers, that is. Their home schedule finishes next month.
I mean, that still is 58 days away. But your technical points are right on. It is coming to the business end quite quickly.
Well, the Breakers are the first team to 14th game of the regular season. This is round 9.
I've mentioned a couple times, but this will be the completion of the series against the Phoenix as well.
Danovich trying to find a guard. Catch from Rob Lowe. Fires out, and that will be the Breakers' ball.
Good job by Brown Jr. Find that short roll, and Rob Lowe, I think, caught him between minds, had a couple of passing options, just short-armed it a bit, but a bit of hustle. He gains possession.
Rob Lowe again catches it in the key. Cam Glidden for 3. Rob Lowe with the putback. Rob Lowe, 12 and 13 points on that one.
Well, best of both worlds, finds his teammate, gives him the opportunity, then eats his lunch on the carom opportunity.
Tarangi with a push shot. Gets his own rebound. Adnam looking for the 3 ball. Glidden ripping in for a rebound. And we got some bodies on the floor. And we're going to have a lot of towels out there. There's a lot of bodies, and Rob Lowe was one of them.
Athletic rebound by Glidden here as he's jumping into the camera to save that one. Somehow gets it before it hits and says hello to some of the fellas on the baseline who definitely enjoyed it.
What's up, Canterbury?
That's why you pay for the baseline seats, to get up close and personal.
Barry Brown looking at the trap. Dal White finds Lowe. He can stretch the floor. Ooh, Mitch Creek went down.
He's grabbing at that ankle.
He's grabbing at the ankle, all right. Barry Brown off the glass to beat the quarter. My goodness, Barry Brown is 29.
Touch them all, Barry.
81-60 after 3 at Christchurch Arena. 81-60 after 3 quarters of basketball at Christchurch Arena. The Breakers are rolling, and they're rolling right over the top of the Phoenix at the moment. As Adnam starts the 3rd quarter with Mitch Creek, and Cam Glennon picks up the foul. And the side ball, and Brooke Rusco. What do you have from the Phoenix time?
Yeah, a couple words that are creeping through with the Breakers right now, complacency and fat, but one thing that does bode well for the Breakers right now, up 21 against the Phoenix, is that they're yet to lose a 4th quarter in this season, a huge 4th quarter against the Bullets in their last outing, so if they can keep that, then they're going to go to 11 of their last 13.
Tom Vodanovich.
Well, even if they do lose the 4th quarter, it may be tough to lose by 21. That would be an impressive feat if the Phoenix can turn around to that extent. Tommy V, just a bit too handsy with the back there as he's trying to get around for the steal.
Creek. Butter.
Just in rhythm, well-created shot. Too much space to give the leading scorer in the league, who has moved up to 19 now.
Harry Brown high up the glass, gets the roll. He is 31.
Now his touch is off the hook this evening, 11 for 17 for the field. Hasn't hit a 3-pointer since the 1st half, but why would you when you're kissing it off the glass like that?
Dane Pino gets that one.
Mitch Creek first with the shot, then with the delivery, drawing defenders and setting up his teammates with the easy one.
Rob Lowe trying to step through on Dane Pino. Rob Lowe is having a game, 15 for him. He's 5 of 6, he'll go for the line.
Well, he's been stuck on the bench for a few weeks now with a couple of little injuries that were pinging around. Couldn't quite get his body right, but looks good now with footwork like that. The step back, the up fake, the step through.
Just back to size there with the shoulder. Didn't have to push right through, but just got that separation.
Does help to be 6'11".
At the line. This is that. Adnam. Pino can't get that to go down over that 6'11" Rob Lowe.
Nice job of not fouling after Adnam set it up nicely.
Rob Lowe, no one picked him up. Pino got beaten down the floor by him. And Rob Lowe is 17, and he's smiling over midcourt.
The Breakers just seem to be going from strength to strength, finding points wherever they're looking for them.
Trey Cal is at the scorers table for the Phoenix. Rob Lowe got Ruben Tarangi there, the New Zealand teammates.
Still a 23-point deficit for the Phoenix, and it's really about these next 3 or 4 minutes there, as we see foul number 4 being called on Rob Lowe.
He makes them all count. He's 6 of 7 from the floor. It's Rob Lowe.
But for Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix, they got to make a run now. This next 2 or 3 minutes are integral if they have any chance whatsoever of getting back into it. And if not, might want to just shut up shop.
Rob Lowe out there with his 4 fouls momentarily. If Ruben Tarangi makes his foul shot, Derek Pardon come back. And Rob Lowe walking to the bench now.
6 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line, 17 points. And that's in about 10 minutes he's played now for that 17 points. That's a reasonable point per minute growth.
Yeah, quarter time. That's about right. Rob Lowe, extremely efficient. Big rebound by Trey Cal III. Creek saw the double team. Somehow the Breakers have it. Now Dal White looking at Brantley. Brantley looking at Pardon, and Pardon just wasn't set. Battling with Mitch Creek down low, who can handle a guy like Pardon.
Well, it does show his strength, as Brantley was just trying to set up Pardon for it, but the physicality of Creek makes a more difficult entry pass, ending up in the turnover.
Phoenix now 2 for 16 from downtown.
And on the other side, the Breakers sitting at 10 for 19, still over 50%.
Don't forget, they were the league's worst three-point shooting team just a few rounds ago. But the threes have started to drop as Trey Cowell picks up foul number 4.
I mean, for most of that possession, played solid defense, just gets his hand caught in the cookie jar at the end.
Nice to see some ex-New Zealand and current players wandering around Christchurch Arena. Big Ed Book, 2002 World Champs team is here.
Booker.
Judd Flavel is also here, former Phoenix assistant. And Ty Wynyard as well. Had his debut for New Zealand at the age of 15. One to shoot for McDowell White, and he misses that 3.
The Breakers just always on you defensively, giving Mitch Creek a limited amount of space.
Brantley cleans that up.
And there is 0 offense flowing here in the fourth quarter.
Jarrell Brantley, 11 of 21 are the Breakers from deep. Brantley has 15.
And that's the 9th point of the quarter for the Breakers, just outscoring the Phoenix by 6 as the transition game has slowed to a trickle.
Mitch Creek just got whacked. Barely flinched. Wolf Creek. Alan Williams onto the floor. Alan Williams, he has done some work. 27 and 13, 11 of 13 from the floor.
As we take another look at the 3rd personal foul on Thomas Abercrombie.
Here's Creek. This is that. He's a lefty and he shot it with the right. McDowell White. Not a lot of energy going on at Christchurch Arena at the moment. It's a big old lead for the Breakers, and that's just been extended to 27 now by Jarrell Brantley. That gets Sam Timmins and Dan Futu up off the bench.
Just sneaking up towards 20 points as he scores point 18 with that triple.
Ryan Brokoff has entered the chat.
Long time coming, needed a couple of looks to get there finally. Knocking it down. That's going to be good for the confidence and possibly good for the Phoenix's offensive rotation moving forward in this one.
Turnover. Trey Cowell nice top of Brantley. Yeah, that's Mitch Creek to Brokoff who can nail it. And does again. Back-to-back threes for Ryan Brokoff. And Coach Modumoa just saw that lead evaporate somewhat. Now it's down to 21, and he's called timeout of 2 quick Ryan Brokoff threes.
Well, you got to nip it in the bud when somebody of Brokoff's shooting prodigiousness starts to catch a little heat. Back-to-back triples on back-to-back possessions. And I call a timeout and say, hey, you know him? Maybe we should find him.
Well, Alan Williams for the Phoenix, 27 and 13. He's the first player this season to have 20 points and 10 rebounds in back-to-back games. He's the first player to have 3 in total over NBL23. He's the first Phoenix player in franchise history to have 20-10 back-to-back games as well. No player for the Breakers has had 30 since last season. The last player was Levi Randolph for 30 versus the Bullets in round 20 of NBL20. Let's go to Brooke Rusko now.
Yeah, down big going into this timeout, but a huge loss right now is Gary Brown. Now, he's had a tough game, but he's been instrumental all season long, but he's gone out with an ankle injury. Looked like he rolled it, tweaked it, went up to him, just made sure he's okay. He's gonna miss the rest of this game, but he said he will be okay, and it looks like he's gonna play again on Saturday against Melbourne United, but out for the rest of this game.
Thanks, Brooke. That's unfortunate to hear that, but discretion always a better part of valor there. 5 minutes and 3 seconds to play in this one. Breakers are back with their starting contingent out there.
Tell you what, those 2 years in Australia, players came and went on the Breakers. Will McDowell White is the one that came and stayed. He's out there giving it to Brantley right now. And he's just going to use that body of his. Probably a little bit too strong there. Well, it probably became like it was.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hook up Pardon there. But Williams, well aware, the battle between him and Pardon keeps going.
Man, that's a big rebound.
Strong.
I'm surprised the ball survived that.
That's rebound number 10. 2 points away from the double-double for Pardon.
Down wide off the glass and in.
He's really put together a great game at the point guard position.
11 and 11.
With 5 rebounds as well, 1 steal.
Will McDowell White already has a triple-double for the Breakers.
Great ratio, too. 11 assists, 2 rebounds. Or sorry, 2 turnovers, pardon. It's the good kind of ratio.
Abercrombie stepping into the trailer. 3 and rattles it down. Tom Abercrombie knocking down 3s in this game. The Breakers are killing it from deep. 13 of 23.
Simon Mitchell's not going to be happy about that. That is a lack of commitment in transition. Still time to play in this game, and just leaving a shooter of that caliber wide open as the Breakers continue to scorch the nets from deep.
The Breakers on their way to winning their 5th in a row. Well, thanks to their 3-point shooting and their hustle.
Here's, take a look inside the huddle. What do you more? He's had enough. Go out there, finish this one. The Breakers looking a 5-game winning streak in the eyes right now, with their beloved foe, the Perth Wildcats, coming to town.
Brantley out there, just giving a word to Tom Vodanovich as well. Love to see that. Jarrell Brantley loves the game that Vodanovich brings. I saw it in a game recently where Vodanovich hadn't been connecting from deep and he hits one and Brantley was celebrating for him. I can imagine Vodanovich and Brantley just go at it in Mairangi Place on the shore at the Breakers facility. I bet those two absolutely go hard.
They better, because iron sharpens iron. That's how you improve, and it's those hours in the training court that make games like this possible. You know, the fans see the performances on game night and think that's where it's done, but it's hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing together, perfecting your craft that gets it done.
Brockhoff gets it back. Anticipich in the game for Phoenix off the bench. Here's Alan Williams. Oh, gets the shooter's touch. The roll is nice. 29 for Williams.
And 12 for 14 from the field.
My goodness.
That is decent. Yeah, just the way the game plan went for the Breakers, they just couldn't create those twos for 3 as McDowell White finds it again.
13 now for McDowell White, 5 of 8 from the floor.
And just has not made a wrong decision coming off the on ball. Just continues to keep the Phoenix help side defense under pressure. Big Sam Timmons checks in the ball game for the Breakers. Derek Pardon, William McDowell White sit down. Glidden entering as well.
Sam Timmons, I'd love to see how he goes against Alan Williams. Oh, Alex McNaught. Get him on Kyle Adnam. 2 South NBL players.
Well, This one just ticking down to the end as the Breakers. Oh, Sam Timmons gets it.
Yeah! Sam Timmons had 2 dunks. One of them was a reverse against the Bullets on Sunday at Spark Arena. And we've got a foul called. Here comes Alex McNaught. Hasn't seen much court time of late. Stepped up when asked near the start of the season, and he's been rewarded with some minutes here in Christchurch. And Timmons getting rewarded as well and paying dividends.
Well, the big man from the deep south, we're not quite back to his homeland, but close enough to inspire the finish there. Well, the Breakers' favorite, Alex McNaughty, checking in as well.
This is the first time the Breakers have scored consecutive 100-point games since February 2019. Tarangi tried to find Pino on the baseline, and McNaught has it. Adnam picks him up. 2 former Nelson Giants, Casey.
2 former Nelson Giants, and possibly future again for McNaught as Vodanovic tries to take it to Tall Black's teammate Tarangi in the post, but
he's fouled in the process. So that'll be shots coming up. And here's Dan Fotu getting the look from Modu Ma'o.
Interesting season series between these 2 teams. The underdone Phoenix side can't get it done in the first one. The Breakers, a bit of illness cloud over the team without Barry Brown Jr. Get blasted in game 2. And, you know, when I look at this Phoenix team, I really felt at full strength, they can give the Breakers as much trouble as anyone with their combination of size, shooting, and strength. But today, just we're unable to break through the defense of the Breakers and just could not slow down the offensive firepower. As the Breakers look like they're going to fish 57% from deep as that bucket will count.
Sam Timmons, you love to see it.
Good aggressiveness. As he gets it up off the glass before the foul is called.
What a shift from the starters and the rotation. Rob Lowe and Barry Brown off the bench, combining for 48 of the Breakers, 105 points. As Fotu thought about it, had a notion, and he was correct in shooting it.
And the bench is loving it.
Smiling. He's smiling. Yes, Modi. He even gave a right smile to us. And just a bit, oh, that's pretty.
Nice bit of skill on display there. But decidedly less celebrations from the other end of the court.
Glennon in rhythm. Oh, in and out. Couldn't quite get the release. Tarangi flying at him. Good recovery from Ruben Tarangi. Kyle Adnam strokes the 3. Kyle Adnam in game number 200. Unfortunately for him, the milestone game is one to forget. A 25-point deficit, 5 for him.
Well, that's the beauty about getting to 200. It's not that one, it's the journey that got you there. And he's had a real resurgence of his career with this Phoenix team, averaging over double figures a few times.
He certainly has. He is a standout guard in this league. He has carved a role in there. Oh, McNaught can't get it. You just need Alex McNaught to get on that scorer's sheet. He's the only Breaker who hasn't scored now of that 4-2-3. Here's McNaught now, being the point guard. He'll give it up. Get it back. 4-2 is blocked by Pino. Gets it back. Dan 4-2 gets another 3. Oh my goodness. Oh, the bench love it.
Sam Timmons, table setter. And the Breakers dancing. This one to the finish line.
Madu banks that in. Alex McNaught needs to score. He's got 15 seconds. Everyone clear out.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
He's going to just dribble this one out, and another dominant display from the Breakers as the Tall Black teammates have a chat.
What a performance again from the Breakers. They have been outstanding in the NBL. They are on fire. Nothing can slow them down, it seems. And they come out the big winners, 110-84.
as impressive as the offense was, I think it was the defensive game plan where they completely took Gary Brown out of this one, really limited the effectiveness of everyone outside Williams and Creek, no other scores in double figures, controlled the physicality, winning the rebound battle, and obviously the execution on the offensive end made things easier as well, but another complete performance, both ends of the court, the Breakers dominant.
A lot of people just wanted them to make the playoffs. They probably thought that they wanted to make the top 4. They're number 1 on the table. They won 5 in a row. And they are the hottest team in the league right now, that is for sure. And they acknowledge this Christchurch crowd who were treated to 110 Breakers points. And they are sending a statement to the league right now. The reigning champs might be the Sydney Kings, but after dropping that game against Cairns, you don't have them in their horizon. It's coming over the horizon right now, looking forward to that game as well, the Perth Wildcats on Saturday night, though.
Setting out statements and feeding the country, burgers for everyone again. We got Brooke Roscoe over there with Barry Brown Jr.
21 in the first, 31 in the game off the bench. What did you see out there that you liked?
Just the competitiveness my guys had. I feel like we came out, especially in that second half, and just continued to lay it on them. We kind of got sloppy a little bit, but we was able to finish the game.
A word that the team in the commentary booth were using a lot was selflessness. This is a team that looked like fun. As I can see right here, you got the band of brothers right next to you. How much fun is this right here?
It's great. It's amazing to have a great group of guys that, you know what I'm saying, believe in themselves and believe in each other, and we have a great time. You can see my guy right here, my son for real.
Hey, that's 11 of the last 13, that's 5 in a row, but now attention goes to Saturday, Perth. You must have heard about the rivalry that those two teams have.
I haven't, but I'm sure I'll get a great glimpse of it and see what happens.
Your full local player of the match, Barry Brown, congratulations, 31 celebrations.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a break, we'll come back, and the Breakers have broken the Phoenix down here. They beat them 110-84 at Christchurch Arena. Welcome back to Christchurch Arena, 110.84. The Breakers with a big win over the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They'll prepare for the Perth Wildcats at Spark Arena. But here are how the stats look, Casey Frank, and wowee.
Dominant display offensively by the Breakers. 57 from the field, 56 from three, and 86 from the line. Not bad from the Phoenix, but that damage from three mostly done late. A lot of trips to the free throw line, that was part of their strategy. But the efficiency with which the Breakers were able to play on the offensive end negated anything the Phoenix brought to the table. As we take a look at the ladder, Breakers sitting on top, 11-3 after this 5-game win streak.
They are on fire. The Kings, incidentally, play the 36ers this round, round 9. But your next game is the Bullets and Wildcats from Brisbane. Hope you enjoyed the game. Christchurch Arena, they'll be back in January for another game here. The Breakers loving it. Hope you enjoyed the game. They put 110 on the Phoenix, and they are on a roll, people. They're coming to your part of the world. Go and see them or watch it all live on Sky Sport.